Young Monob TV, where we talk world news, hip-hop news, and WWE news. All you gotta do is hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. We about to get into it.
Ain't playing no games, it's hard. I ride this bitch like a Harley. Think it's my baby, I take her to Mars. Skirt at the light like I'm in a Ferrari. Shit, I'm just living, ain't promise tomorrow. Rocking all mines, them diamonds go hard. Born for this shit, how you stopping the start? I'm popping today, gon' be popping tomorrow.
Welcome to another episode of Young Monob TV, where I'm hitting y'all across the head with videos back to back to back to back. Any chance I get, if I'm not working for real, I'm giving y'all videos. So here's another one. This video is basically like 50 versus everybody. 50 versus everybody. Now y'all know, like, I rock with 50 Cent. Like, I do. I like his music. I really genuinely do. Like, Beg for Mercy, that album, crazy. Get Rich or Die Trying, crazy. Like, two classic albums for me that I was just like, as a young boy, like, you know, like when you young and you like used to hearing a certain tune of music, and then just this change of music coming, you like a kid, like you kind of like putting on your earphones, like not really understanding where this music is coming from, but you listening to it, like you feeling it, like it's thriving you to like just be. It's like a story, you know, like with Get Rich or Die Trying, like 50 told a story, you know what I mean? And I used to just, like, my aunt had bought the CD and she was listening to it, and I was listening to it, and I was listening to some of the songs with her, and I had to be like, I don't remember the age, but I was young. And I was listening to this album, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, just listen to the things that this man was talking about in these songs, and how it was being painted. It was something different. So it's like, you know, 50, you know, always was like this superstar right off the rip, because people seen a change of music and it was just like attached to it, you know, plus his story of, you know, the street stuff and whatever, everything else, you know what I mean? It took people on. That's why 50 is so big now too, on with the help of Eminem and Dre and the people who, you know, helped put that together too. But, you know, I feel like, you know, 50, like, throughout the years always just, you know, was almost like the villain. Like, even on the internet now, it's kind of like the villain, like, and it's like different, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, I didn't expect like to see it, because Instagram wasn't really a thing when I was growing up, and that kind of music came out. So it's like now to like be able to see your favorite artist on, like, you know, internet, or whether it's just an artist in general, it's just like you see everything, you know. So it's just like, you know, you basically be having 50 versus everybody now. You know, you had you know, in 2025 it was like 50 versus Big Meech and Lil Meech, and it turned to something about the TV show on Stars, and then it being canceled. And that was just like the whole thing, you know what I mean? Then you had the Diddy documentary, The Reckoning, and Diddy sending flowers and all. I'm like, this stuff is crazy. This stuff is crazy. It's just that I stuff that I see on the internet. Like, I go on the internet and I see it. It be right there, like, boom. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you even have like 50 and Jarule, you know what I mean? Still going at it. You know, they've been going at it for like ever. Like, you know, like the whole growing up, like that's all I really used to hear about and listen to, like this the back and forth stuff. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like I was used to that, but you know, you would think that would be, you know, a little chilled at this time. But you know, it's like even a new generation of stuff. You know, you got people podcasting, and then that gets involved. You know, and you know, 50 says something to Maino, and Maino says something back to 50, and then Fabulous drops a diss song, and it's just like it's like a follow up of everything. You know what I mean? And I feel like 50 basically like is going at it with everybody in 2025. You know what I mean? Going into 2026. You know, he just said something to Fabulous, Maino, and Davies, and you know, Jim Jones with their whole podcast over there, basically calling them squatters. You know, you had Maino say something back to 50, and then you know, Fabulous dropped a little track. You know, everybody waiting for 50 to drop something. You know, 50 more like a businessman, you know, fall back online, get you online, that type thing. So it's just like one of them things where it's just really just hip hop, you know what I'm saying? And like hip hop always go back to a time where it was just like back and forth, you know what I'm saying? I think that's like, was something that was going to evolve over time with hip hop. If you start over in the beginning, it was just really just fashion and like beatboxing and that type stuff. But now it's like a whole different vibe. You know what I mean? It's like a whole different world. You know what I mean? Like you even had Papoose and Claressa. Shields. I guess that's her name. 50, I mean, Papoose wife, no disrespect, I respect them too. Like, 50, and Papoose was going at it a little bit. Papoose put the little video up of 50 like going at him, and then it was just like a little back and forth thing. But I'm like, it's really just hip hop, let's just take it for that and let's just keep it hip hop, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes, we gotta bring a little bit more fun but positivity back into our own, culture. You know what I mean? I miss the BET Awards when it was really like the BET Awards. I miss like 106 in Park. I miss like shows like that, like Rap City in the Basement. Like that time and that era was definitely different. So, it's just like, you know, um, I don't know. 2025 it was 50 versus everybody. Uh, Not taking no sides on none of that. I don't know nothing about that. I'm just reporting the news and just, you know, um, you know, going with what I'm seeing and just, giving a, input on just whatever it is. Hopefully, like I said, again, under the situation as just, uh, you know, we wanted to stay hip hop. We wanted to stay hip hop, even if it just don't get resolved, as long as it don't lead to nothing negative and nobody getting hurt behind it. I think that's just something that's us as black or whatever community we in. We just gotta do better with connecting the dots with that. That's all, and show the kids something different. It's Young Man Out TV. Thank you.